Chris, what's up? You alive? You don't look alive. You look like you're dying on the inside, dude. Come on, man. Get it together and get up here. I don't think that mic's on, dude. Is that the one that keeps messing up? We got like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Damn, that sucks.
Yeah, into hell with Pennsylvania.
Hey, so
yesterday, who was that? It was Miguel, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He was going from state to state to state, talking about places he'd been. He got to Pennsylvania, and then people over there went like, ah! The horse they done bet on done lost. And I was like, hell yeah, they hate Pennsylvania.
Yeah. Woo!
Did you win? Hey, did you win? You won?
Let's
Congratulations! Woo!
Let's go.
We're all winners here at Gabe's Cave.
A win is a win is a win. Hey, you know what? What's up? So, what's your favorite kind of weed?
You know what I've discovered?
What's that?
That rearranging these seats and this morning was a mistake.
Yeah, it looks like it. Looks like it was, yeah.
I mean, people kind of just do what they want to do, don't they?
Yeah, that seems about right. I don't understand it. Some people, right? Am I right? Am I right? Yeah.
Either you do or you don't do. There is no try.
Yeah.
You guys big Clint Howard fans? What's your favorite movie? Star Trek.
Nice. Sounds.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
How about you guys back here? Y'all big Clint Howard fans too? Obviously not. He's about to fall asleep.
You know, I love Clint. I don't understand why everybody's so obsessed with Star Trek, though.
Are you a Star Wars guy?
I'm a Star Wars guy.
There isn't. You can't do both. I don't guess.
I have love, and our rules are, our top 3 rules is no racism, no homophobia, no Trekkies.
Oh, wow.
Damn. All right. No. Okay. Sure. Yeah.
In other words, no discrimination
Oh, you just see
unless they're Trekkies.
Hold on. Wait.
Yeah.
Did you see that? Watch that chick's in the back. Look at that. Her ears keep standing up. That's crazy. I ain't never seen one of them.
That's a real life Pokemon.
Chris, give me one of those.
She's got ears too. Clint Howard.
Yeah. 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 What are we talking about? Oh, yeah.
Hey, you jump
I know,
ship
it's crazy.
quick, but hey, you always been a Suns fan? You with the jersey on.
What now?
You always been a Suns fan?
Yes, sir. I was born and raised in Phoenix.
Okay, I was just making sure that you didn't become a Suns fan after Durant got there.
Oh, no. First thing I thought when I found he got traded there.
I was happy for him.
Yeah. Now's your chance to run.
I feel like Ayton, I'm not a sports dude, person, YouTube. All right, but I feel like Ayton needs to do more.
Yeah, you definitely like to see him do more, but it's going to be real
Well, I don't need him to score. I need him to stop people from scoring. I need him to play some defense.
Yeah, like you when we went to the finals, that's what they talk about. 'Cause I listen to local sports radio on my app on my phone every day. That's what everyone
That's crazy.
wants to see again.
Yeah, the year after that, when NBA 2K came out, it was his rating was through the roof because of. I didn't see that same guy, and it was
Nobody has.
slightly disappointing.
Nobody has.
You good on water? Do I need to call Gabe to go get you another drink?
I got a little bit.
Alright.
It's almost happy hour.
It is
Wait,
almost happy.
Wait, what time does that start? Did y'all know this place had a happy hour? I don't encourage bad behavior, but
I want to say it's 3 or 3:30, but I could be completely wrong because I'm not old enough to drink, so I have no idea.
good point.
You can stay here then.
I'm gonna be staying here mostly. Actually,
down-
no, I'm going downstairs to watch the
In
rest.
the casino restaurant. Like, you go down there to the second floor, and then you go into the casino. You just keep walking straight down the hallway in that restaurant, and there's like 5. What? Yeah, Bricktown Brewery. There's like 5 of their own brews, I guess, that every day, at whatever time to 7 something, it's happy hour. It's like actually happy 3 hours because it's not just an hour. It's
Right. Have we asked Marty if this interview is still happening?
the screening.
Yeah.
The screening is still happening, but I don't think we are going to be there.
Oh, okay. Sounds like a plan. So, when we're done with this interview, are we going to start loading up? Or are we going to just leave it up here until the end of the day? What's your verdict?
What?
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 What'd you say?
Are we going to start packing up as soon as this interview's over, or are we going to just wait out until the end of the day?
I'm gonna go get a beer. You gonna be packing this up?
All right. I imagine that's how that was going to go.
We gonna get Gabe to come up here and help you too.
No, we can't tell Gabe because Gabe wants to leave.
Well, he better
Remember?
that's what I'm saying. He'd get up here and help you if he want to go.
No, because as soon as he knows that we're packing up, he's going to try and start talking Marty into packing up downstairs, and then we won't get to watch the wrestling.
Oh no, the packing up ain't happening downstairs.
That's true. It is Marty.
Yep, the Godfather's here.
Yeah.
If y'all haven't been by our booth downstairs where the COAs are happening at, we've got a lot of interesting independent horror comic books. Some of them are anthology style. You can get 3 for $10, I do believe.
Yeah. It's five
And,
for
listen,
1 and 3 for 10.
And this is the truth. If you go to a con, and our buddies are watching this, but we bought these books from them for the price that they wanted to get for them. So it's not like they're getting undercut or anything, but we are selling them cheaper than what you could go buy them from them at the con for. But they okayed it. They know we're here with them. They know that we're doing that. We promote them all the time. We talk about them on our YouTube channel. It's essentially a way to get their product into your hand at a really affordable price. They've already made their money, and we're not even going to get close to making our money back.
Right. Yeah, we don't.
We are losing money by the handfuls to come here. That's a guaranteed fact.
Yeah.
And we love it. We wouldn't change it. We got good sponsors that are like, hey, go
Hey, look,
spend
it's
our
Gabe.
money.
Hi,
Look, there's
Gabe.
Gabe.
All right, I guess I'm going to go get in my seat.
Hey, woo! Okay, guys, I'm pretty sure that this may be around the same rule settings for questions. Just what, you know. Hey, y'all don't go crazy all at once. That's more like it. That's more like it. We got some more people coming in here that are going to sit down.
I recognize most of these people.
They came by and saw you at your booth,
Yeah, a lot of familiar faces.
and they stuck around.
Yeah, I don't know. No, cool. It was really a wonderful couple of days. Really was here. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, no. It's your time. You interrupt anytime you want to. I'll shut up on cue. All right, guys. Welcome to Oklahoma City Horror Con. This is your panel with the infamous and the famous Mr. Clint Howard. And there's you some ice water, sir. Oh, Pepsi. That's your Pepsi.
Thank you, babe. Jesus. Well, my wife is the one that brought it up here, so God bless. Anyway.
All right, brother. So you said it was a fantastic couple of days?
Yeah, really surprising. I try not to have guesses about how shows are going to be, or I try to keep my mind completely open. And you guys have a fair amount of kooky people that live here, but genuine good people. I've enjoyed it. My wife Kat and I have both enjoyed it, and we certainly are going to come back. As you might know, my family is directly from here. I was born in Burbank, California, but they were in the process of going from Oklahoma to either coast. They ended up going to Los Angeles. So my mom was from Duncan, and my dad was born in Kay County and Ponca City, farms outside of Ponca City, all through his childhood. So anyway, Oklahoma roots.
That's awesome. That's awesome. What would you say your favorite part about going to cons like this is?
Oh, listen, it's fun. It's fun to see generational, legitimate, easy to define generational degrees of people that come up with a form of admiration towards me. It's kids. It's actually not that many kids, but it's some kids. But there's a lot of people that I can really connect with. And then there's older people. Jesus, you're still watching this stuff?
That's awesome.
So anyway.
Well, you guys know how this works. I asked a couple easy questions, so now it's your guys' turn. If you guys would like to, I would like for you guys to ask him anything you want to. He informed me that he is open to your questions, so you can ask about the movies all you want, guys.
All right, man. Well, first of all, thanks for being here, Clint. This is awesome. A bit of a dream of mine. I'm a big fan, across the board. I'm going to hit you with two easy ones. I got to ask everybody this question so far. What is your personal favorite horror movie?
Wow. Horror movie. Well, now, if you count The Exorcist,
Oh, yeah.
it would by far and away.
Uh-huh.
The Exorcist goes up as one of the great movies,
Right.
of all time, and just the question of what kind of movie is it? Billy Freakin always said it was a movie about faith, and it wasn't a horror movie. But of course, that's the category that The Exorcist falls into. I think it's great, so that would be my easy one.
Hey, cool. Good one. And then I'm a big fan of Ice Cream Man. What's your favorite kind of ice cream?
Butter pecan.
That's a good one. There you go. Yep, classic. Awesome. All right, man. I appreciate it.
Jesus, the choice of my ice cream draws an applause. Okay.
Switch mics with me. I think mine is louder than yours.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you take mine.
Hey, all somebody has to do is speak up. Anyway, how's that sound?
Oh yeah, that's what.
Okay, sorry.
Hello, I'm a massive Star Trek fan, and you had the opportunity to work on 3 different generations of Star Trek, from the original and most recently on Strange New Worlds. I just wondered if you could share some stories about working on each of those series and the differences for you from when you worked in the original and the more modern ones.
You know, sir, that's the premise for a book. It is really, seriously, it's a fascinating story. The fact that this little kid created an imprint on Star Trek as a young boy, and then that later ended up kind of reoccurring and becoming part of the fabric of Star Trek, which is really, you can laugh about it, but no, it's real. So anyway, and I'm part of it. And this Strange New Worlds was a blast to work on. And I got to go up to Canada with Kat, and it helps a lot having my wife with me. Anyway, I worked on it, and it's very high tech. Those Star Trek people, they're serious about doing their filmmaking. And then, but the creative people were also, I felt like they were genuine, and they were just hardworking guys, just trying to tell their story. So, this recent experience was fun. I mean, when I was little, everybody treats a kid good. I mean, I remember always feeling it was okay. In the original series, I thought the costume was very scratchy, and I remember it being kind of painful, like the boots were a little small. Anyway, so I was 7 years old. I couldn't really bitch about it. But anyway, so that I remember that, But other stuff, this Star Trek, there were a couple of times that, honest to God, was just work. When I was a Ferengi, I wore Armand's head size. He had like an extra large, and I need a big one. I got a big cranium. So anyway, I fit into his, and that's kind of something of note. It should probably be of the record of the Star Trek lore. But anyway, it's, I've had great experiences. And going to cons, my goodness, when you go to a convention and somebody who's a rocket scientist comes up to you, and with that same fan appreciation, they hand their business card to you, and they're friggin', it's Dr. Al Shumblag. Doctor, mission director, NASA science coordinator. No, he's a Star Trek fan. And it blows me away. So anyway, I've had a good run being part of the Star Trek lore.
That's an awesome question with an even better answer.
Hey, Clint. Thanks for being here. What was it like working with Corman and Thromones on Rock and Roll High School, one of my favorite movies?
Okay, well, listen, I can make this really easy. When I worked on Rock and Roll High School, I'd never met Roger Corman. I didn't know. He never came up and said hi. I mean, I worked on several movies. In fact, for a long time, I, honest to God, hadn't really had any direct contact with Roger. Now, my brother had, and, that imprint, Ron and I are very close, and especially back then. I mean, I knew he was dealing with Roger Corman. So anyway, but I hadn't had a lot of dealings with him. He'd always been fair, as an actor. He doesn't pay much, but he pays, and you get to do what you do, as a creative guy. Like Alan Arkish, the guy that made Rock and Roll High School, he really did what he ended up wanting to do. Originally, Rock and Roll High School was sold to Roger Corman with the idea of it being called Disco High, because Saturday Night Fever craze was happening, and Roger Corman got sucked right into the Bee Gees, and basically Alan sold him an idea of, well, we'll do kind of a Bee Gees ripoff and call it Disco High. And anyway, but deep down, Alan Arkish knew he wanted to make Rock and Roll High School. So once they got into production, they managed to convince that Roger that it was okay, that this was going to be a good, goofy movie he'll be proud of. So, anyway, I worked a lot for Roger. I mean, Rock and Roll High School is probably the pinnacle, but I've worked, Rogers is part of the family. So I certainly, I completely respect him. Anyway, that's about it.
Awesome. We have a question from the interweb real quick, and then we'll get to you. He says, first of all, he says, me and Clint Howard look alike. He's really handsome. And it says, any funny stories from the Water Boy that you would like to share?
Oh, I don't know. God, I wish there was. On Waterboy, there really wasn't. And I'll give you a brief little rundown. First of all, Adam is a great dude. And I got hired to be in Waterboy. I auditioned, and the casting director said, "You're doing it wrong." And he made me redo it because I had done a version of this character, and it was pretty wacky. But I got off the page. And the casting director said, "Could you please do one where you say the lines that we're auditioning for?" And I did, but Sandler must have liked my performance. They hired me. And it was, but I never forget Roger Musington, the casting director. He said, "Can you do it again and do it with the dialogue?" Okay, anyway, so I worked, they were really on Waterboy pretty well coordinated. I only worked on Waterboy for 3 or 4 days before they called me back and did reshoots. So the wedding scene, that was done later. There were a couple of things that were done later, but generally I was only on. They hired me, and my job was to go down there to Orlando for 4 days and come back. And that's what we did. We did those scenes. So, I was really happy with them. I think it's funny stuff. Waterboy holds up.
Hell yeah.
Adam Sandler's there's something about his filmmaking, but those jokes, crazy, stupid Waterboy jokes, just they're all right time, right place.
Yes, sir. Same with Little Nicky. So I appreciate that as well. That was gonna be my question, was about working with Adam, but another question is, you're really close with your brother, like you said. What are you most proud of his career and like all the things he's done?
Oh, I don't know. Listen, I don't want to be glib. Yeah. Listen, he's made some great movies. Mm-hmm. As a filmmaker, he's made some great movies. Apollo 13 is a great movie. Frost Nixon is a great film. But, he's also been the dad to these 4 kids, and they seem to all be going in the right direction. He's made sure he's kind of tried to plant roots in his life, his kids, and I don't know. I just, I admire what he's done as a person, and he's made a lot of money, which is, there's no denying that finances. There's a column in the standings. There's a column in the book. Where's that? Who's leading the league in that? But anyway, no, he's done, and I'm proud of him. You got to remember, I was really close to him when he was 15 and pimply, and getting ready to kind of, expand out. He fall in love with Cheryl, but he had this desire. He wanted to be a filmmaker, and nobody gave him any credit. I did. I thought, yeah, he's my brother. He can do it. So anyway, I have always had a pretty good seat for his career, and he's made some great movies. Listen, there's parts of his movies too, like Night Shift is really funny. Boy, he landed with Keaton, and he gave Keaton some runway there so he could do his thing, and then he managed to have the chemistry to throw in Henry Winkler. So anyway, he's got a pretty good picker, my brother, and I'm real proud of him.
Yeah, great question. It shows a little bit of my ignorance about how some of this stuff works, because like with the role that he did in Waterboy, I kind of always just felt like Adam probably just was like, hey, I need him to come do this part. Like, I wouldn't feel like you even, like, that's how I saw it in my head, was like, that was meant for you to do. So there was no audition. They just called you up and was like, hey, we got this part for you to do in this movie. Come shoot it.
Dude, it just don't work that way for me.
I don't see how. You're perfect for almost every single thing they've ever had you in.
Yeah, I was. It's good casting.
Yes.
But they did have choices. There were guys, and I can't tell you which ones, but there were competition. There was 12 or 15 guys that they were considering to play that role. And I was one of them. And that's just the way it is. I mean, Jesus, that's, it's my mentality. I know, listen, technology changes things a little bit, but ultimately it's a game. That's one thing about my brother and I's life, and it's interesting, and I discovered it later through writing The Boys, which, Ron and I wrote that book called The Boys, a memoir of Hollywood and family. And it's we're really proud of it, and I'm personally proud of. But, oh God, where was I?
The Boys you were talking about?
Yeah, no, I know I was talking about The Boys, and there was a reason. We had done something. Oh, rats! We had done something kind of when Ron had done something when he was very young, and it was very meaningful and kind of underrated. But listen, I've been very blessed to have that seat. People ask me what it's like to be Ron Howard's brother. Well, I'll tell you, it's a pretty cool position. Jesus, it could be worse.
Right.
So anyway, here I am.
Yeah, you could have been, Ted Bundy's brother.
Yeah.
It's much worse, brothers.
Charlie Manson's brother.
Yeah.
One time I said that kind of as a joke. And then I got paranoid the next night. I thought, fuck, Charlie may have a brother. And I went and did some research, and he's got he did have a half brother that had disavowed him. And I thought I was pretty safe, but I'll never forget thinking I had said something kind of funny, and then I said, but he might really have a brother. So anyway, I don't know. I am the other brother.
I got a friend request from him on Facebook, Manson. Like, I'm for real.
Yeah.
Freaked me out.
Oh, I see. Somebody is, yeah. Well, listen, inadvertently, man, on social media, people can become your friends.
That's right.
So I don't know. Listen. My quick opinion of social media is it's wonderful, but it's like everybody's got a newsletter. Everybody's got their own little newsletter. If they can make it however they want it. See, here's your little place. And it's interesting, but that's what it is.
That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah. Oh, well, listen, this is a kind of an interesting story, babe. Thank you. Good idea. Well, this is, when I was in 1975, Star Wars was going to get made. That George Lucas had done American Graffiti, and with my brother, and so, now he's doing this science fiction movie, and I had an opportunity to audition. I got the sides delivered to play Luke Skywalker. And now they were having a lot of people they were auditioning, but one of them was me. And this was a swashbuckling pirate, an 18-year-old pirate. And I was excited. And so I audition. I go to the audition, and there's literally dozens of guys waiting. And one of them was Mark Hamill. He was in one of the first auditions, and he was behind me, and I knew Mark Hamill from other auditions that I'd gone and competed at. You got to realize, we competed. What the hell is going on?
Horse races.
Oh, well, good.
Yeah, he won a while ago.
I hope, well, good.
He's probably losing this time. That sounds like a negative rant.
Then never mind. That fella sounds like he's having a good time. God, now where were we? The ponies now made my mind go blank. Oh, no, I'll tell you, telling the story.
Mark Hamill was, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
anyway, here I am. I'm 16 years old, getting to audition for kind of an adult role. And I go into the audition room, and this is way before there was videotape or anything. like that. There was Francis Coppola was in the room, and a guy named Fred Roos, who's a confidant of George Lucas's and of Francis Coppola's. He was there, and another guy that I knew from American Graffiti was a guy named Gino Havens. And I was really nervous, and I hadn't seen George. And George was kind of turned around in a leather chair that was bigger than he was. So you couldn't see him, and he spun around and he looked at me and he went, "Commander Baylock, Corbomite maneuver." And I was fucking blown away because I am trying to get an adult role, and he's recalling instantly. He's recalling something I did when I was a baby. Now, when you're 18 years old and you're trying to make it in the world, you're not reflect back when you were a baby. Did you spend a lot of time looking at your baby pictures? So anyway, it threw me, and in my mind, I said, "Friggin' George, get a freaking life." I'll never forget. That's what I thought. I was an idiot. He got a good life. What do I know? But anyway, so I did the audition, but it threw me off, and it really truly did. Now, he was an original geek. He understood the show way before anybody else did. I mean, it was like Star Trek landed right in George Lucas's brain, and that's what he said to me. And anyway, I didn't get the job, obviously. I actually have talked to him a couple of times afterwards about that. He doesn't hardly remember, but that doesn't, listen, he probably saw 100 guys. There's 100 guys with 100 stories about their encounter with George Lucas. He's not going to remember them all. But, I didn't get it, and oh well, Mark Hamill has really been a great Skywalker, and I love that at the end and lately he's kind of parodying himself, and he's certainly willing to friggin' say, "Here I am." So,
like the role that he played in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. Yep.
and I competed with him. That's what you guys got to realize. That, and that good or bad, it's interesting in life, competition. But I was auditioning, and I knew that there was like 5 kids in the room that could have a chance to get this job. I knew they just weren't gonna, I knew that some kids there was no chance that some of these kids, I was competitive as an auditioner. Now my brother, who's 5 years older than me, so he paved the way. He didn't understand about competition. When he was really little, he didn't understand that when you audition, there's 1 winner and 17 losers. But, there's no doubt about you're not getting the job. So anyway, Ron was kind of oblivious to competition, but by the time I watched him for a few years and I got it, I was always very competitive. And even through Waterboy. I auditioned. Now, I didn't audition for Little Nicky. Once they saw what I could do, then they invited me to be in Little Nicky.
That feels right to my soul. That feels better to my soul. I'm like, okay, somebody appreciates what's going on here.
Little Nicky, listen, I've actually been a transsexual. I'm not even sure exactly what these characters really were. I've only been, flamboyant a couple of times. But I've really made interesting choices, I felt, and unique. There's a movie I did, and God, I'm trying to think. It's a Santa Claus movie. No, it's not Santa with Muscles. I was in the Hulk Hogan movie Santa with Muscles. No, it was this little Christmas movie where I was putting on makeup. Somebody can get this. It's not. No. It's really obscure. Well, I did that, and then I did Little Nicky. And with Little Nicky, they wanted to give me heels, and I tried to wear like the men's platform heels. No way. I was in really good shape, and I was going to have an accident. I was going to twist my ankle or something. And I convinced Adam and the team. I said, yeah, I don't need these shoes to be funny. You know, this is going to be hard. And listen, so I got rid of the high heels, but also just for me as an actor, load me up with chains. Give me what you got. Drape me with stuff. The couple of times I've been that kind of character, I bring it on. Like in Rock and Roll High School, my character Eagle Bauer, I said, this guy's got to have chains. And I don't know what I was thinking, but these couple times in my life, what I wear is important to the character. A Christmas Too Many. There you go. That's the movie.
Hey, that's my wrestling homie right there. Woo!
Yes, I was a fan of Ice Cream Man, and I was just curious, when doing that movie, did they want you to stick with the script, or was you allowed to improv any scenes? And also, was there ever talks of a sequel?
Okay, well, that's another big question that would take several chapters of a book to answer. But listen, Ice Cream Man. First of all, Ice Cream Man was another job. I auditioned and took the job, scale job. It was a good part, low budget movie. They just weren't going to pay. I met the producer. He was this fellow Norman, and he seemed like a really nice guy. But I had auditioned, and then they said we wanted me. But then developing the character, I don't know, it said in the script a gravelly voice. And then I says, okay, well, I got to scream real loud as I go to work. Every day doing the Ice Cream Man, I would drive in my car and scream. And by the time I got to the set, my voice would be really hoarse. I mean, it's really, I'm probably paying the price for it now. But man, and it was when I did the Ice Cream Man, I had spent 10 minutes screaming, 15 minutes screaming. I mean, really screaming at the top of my lungs.
Corey Taylor would approve.
I want a cameo of that.
And listen, it was just another little independent movie. A few years later, I realized, wow, this weird little film has an impact, and it's grown. And I appreciate it. It's kind of fun to be part of it. Me and Norman had something to do with it. Now Norman and I we're making another Ice Cream Man. Yeah. And we've written the screenplay. We've actually had some cast readings and such. But our screenplay is not anywhere near this old Ice Cream Man movie. It's another movie. It's another set of characters. It's another whole thought. We really want to kind of, without going into a lot of detail, we really want to examine the pathology. What makes a guy put body parts in ice cream? There's a stepping stone.
You don't wake up one morning. You know what I mean? You got to start somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you don't wake up morning and say, I'm going to, cut your head off.
Like you may
and
try
put it in the blender.
Yeah.
That's a multiple step process. I'm going to cut your head off and put it in the blender.
Yeah. You might have tried it in some banana pudding first.
Yeah.
Good question. And good answer.
In your acting career, have you ever had a movie that was just the most wonderful movie that you don't ever regret ever regret doing or anything?
Well, I don't know. First of all, I appreciate your enthusiasm. You might want to rephrase that question honestly.
Lexington.
No. I've had a lot of great experiences. I've had a lot of really fun experiences on movies that you guys have never seen. I mean, probably the most impactful acting job that I've ever done is a little movie called Planet Ibsen. And I played Henrik Ibsen, and it was this weird experimental movie. and I played a ghost, kind of the ghost of Henrik Ibsen. Are you waving your hand like?
I'm trying. Sir, if you'll just wait till he gets done with this one question, if you'll just let him answer this one. All right, thank you.
I'll speak up.
No, they did this the last time.
No, but this Planet Ibsen movie, and it was a kind of an art house film, and I played Henrik Ibsen, and it was just a great experience. It was like a 4 or 5 great fun weeks, and then the movie came out and it's quirky, and listen, when I worked on The Wraith, I auditioned, they hired me, and a couple of weeks later I'd become friends with some of these actors, and for about a month and a half we made this movie together. It's what happens, and especially this is before cell phones. So we were saying, in fact, Charlie was one of the first people I'd ever seen that had a fax machine. Charlie was big on having a fax machine at one point in his life. But anyway, the Wraith, that was a job where we got together it was about a month and a half. And there was there was a bunch of actors that worked together that bonded. And that's actually pretty rare. But The Wraith actually is it's one of those films where my relationships with those actors are special and lifelong.
Awesome.
That's one thing, though. I'll tell you what about any of my acting jobs, especially the old school ones, but any school. When you act in a scene with an actor, there is a bond. There is a bond that happens. Like R.G. Armstrong and I. R.G. and I, we had like a special thing going. You see it, they cut it together, and it looks nice. But I mean, that's when actors work together. It's more than just saying hi, So, and look, over the years, I've had a lot of great experiences. I had great experience with Henry Fonda in a really interesting way, because this is in the early 70s, and I'm in a movie and I'm playing Henry Fonda's son, and it was a kind of a prestigious thing. And anyway, but Henry Fonda and I in the material have a standoffish relationship. And he was the first actor I ever worked with who kind of blew me off. And he did it on purpose. He didn't want to become friends with me. Because normally when you're on a movie set and you're an 11-year-old, you become friends with everybody. But he held me off. And it wasn't until the end that Hank, that's just the part I was playing. But that was the first time in my life playing a boy where the father, and the relationship was really crummy in the material. So anyway, I got that. Normally, Sylvester Stallone, I thought that things might be a problem. I heard there was a rumor that he was hard to work with, and yet my day on Tango and Cash was one of the best days. I mean, it was a good day, good acting. He was a nice man. And bonus, on the day that I worked on Tango and Cash, I met Larry King. I was an old radio guy, and Larry King was there visiting. Larry King was visiting on the soundstage, Sylvester Stallone. And I got to meet Larry King, and anyway. So that's
awesome.
Yeah.
Good question again. All right, guys, come on. Not everybody at once. Y'all ask him a question.
So obviously, as a working actor, you talk about going and doing a lot of auditions. Have there been any parts where a director or a producer has come to you and said, "I know you. I've seen your work. I like you. I have this part. I would love you to play." Any big standout parts like that?
Well, yeah. I mean, listen, Ben Stiller made Night at the Museum. They asked me. They said, "Would you like to be in it?" I think Mike Myers and that team, Jay Roach. When I made 3 appearances in the Austin Powers movies, and they've become kind of memorable. And actually, Jay, the director, called me, and we had worked together on this little television series called Space Rangers, where he had been a junior. Jay Roach was like a junior assistant writer on that show. And so anyway, he called me and said, will you be in my little movie? At that time, the first Austin Powers was a little movie where this little guy that, he dresses up in outfits so he becomes unrecognizable. They weren't sure if it was going to be funny. And they wanted to add as many faces as possible. So he, Jay knew me and said, hey, will you do this bit for us? And that's how I got hired. And the first time that I worked on the Austin Powers, it was the day they were breaking sets. Like the company was over in the corner filming. This area, I've seen sound stages that has about this much square footage. But like Mike Myers was filming something over there, and I was doing the radar operator over here, and I never met Mike Myers the day that I worked on Austin Powers. So anyway, then they hired me again, and it got better, and the paycheck got better, and then the third time was like a victory lap, which is good. Let's have fun.
Yep. Awesome.
Do you happen to have any favorite practical effects that you've done? I think of the movie Ticks and that, iconic scene with you. Is there like one specific practical effect from your career that just stands out as your favorite?
Well, no, man. No one looks forward to getting into that stuff. No, that makeup is a pain. Now, upon retrospect, I've had life casts made multiple times. I've had life casts made for things that basically throwaway things. I did Uwe Boll. I had a life cast for him in House of the Dead. My character became a zombie and he wanted to blow my head off or something. But anyway, I had to have a life cast. I don't know. So I'm pretty experienced at it, and I kind of know that nothing surprises me. There was one time when in my career, there was a movie. This is getting into the weeds a little bit, but it was called Digital Man, and part of the movie was finding these people in space, finding out that these are not people, they're robots. My character ended up being a robot. Anyway, I get shot, and it's not blood, it's sparks and stuff. And I land. My character Deacons was my name. I land, and they have an effect where a lot of sparks are flying out of my chest, and I die. The trouble is the embers fall right to my eyeball. And it was one of the times in my acting career I got really pissed because it was really unsafe. You guys are supposed to have people to stop this. This was not an accident. Anyway, I remember, we finished the movie, but it was one of those days of acting. It's not romantic. You get into the effects, and they wire you up, and the shit falls in your eye. You're not having much fun.
It's understandable. Yeah, I weld, so I've had hot metal go in the eye before. I understand. That's not fun.
No, listen. Seriously, about special effects, they're fun and everything, and they've gotten a little cleaner over the years. I've got one completely clean story about special effects, but it used to be where, the firearms and the squibs to make the wood splinter, the westerns. That was always kind of fun, but could be kind of dangerous. I got to work with that a lot, but I'll tell you a story real quick about special effects and it changing. I worked on 3 from Hell and Rob Zombie, and I played this Mr. Baggy Britches. In the first scene, I'm alive, and then I kind of stumble into this home invasion, and I plead for my life, and I try to do a little dance to make these people laugh and let me off the hook, and finally I know I'm a failure, and he steps up to shoot me, and I piss myself, and he laughs, and then I say, well, Otis, you laughed. Am I free to go? And he goes, yeah, to clown heaven. So he shoots me in the head, and I'm down. And so the second day of filming, I'm a corpse all day. And now this is a Rob Zombie film, and one of the most violent films you can come across. But like Bill Moseley, when it says let's get time to kill people, he's got the prop gun in his hand, and he's going bang, 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 bang. and you hear from Video Village. You know what Video Village is where the director sits and watches the video cameras, you know, and sees the link, but he's not usually right within eye shot, definitely within earshot. So Bill Moseley's going bang, 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 and you hear from Video Village, Bill, you can't say bang, bang, Bill, when you shoot people. Just remember, Bill, you can't say bang, bang when you're killing that person, okay? And Bill Moseley is listening to Rob Zombie. And he goes, okay, boss. It's human nature. Laser sword. You're going to play laser tag. It's so Bill learned his lesson that day. But digital effects. There was not a live round fired in 3 from Hell. I know. It's amazing. It's all CG. The dust is CG. The bullet hits are CG. The friggin' muzzle flash is CG, sound effects. It's all manufactured. And he doesn't want to take the time. There's never any safety check. Because now if you're using like a blank weapon, oh man, that's a whole other story. But you know, there's the blanks, safety, we have a blank round on the set, and the director, it's minutes that go by. So he said, no, Rob. Rob says, I don't want to do that. So just make everything fake. We'll fix it in post. So anyway, that's 3
awesome.
from Hell. Yeah. I also moved my legs once. Because I died, I had kind of forgotten myself, and I wanted to like die cool. And with my feet all cockeyed. So I did my thing, and I died, and I was really awkward. And I realized this is a bad way to stay for 3 days. Can't I just tuck my knee in a little bit? And the cameraman says, yeah, nobody's going to see it. Just change your position. But, you know, I knew with the carnage, first of all, it was a relatively low-budget movie. And Bill Moseley, I mean, we were staging it really fast. When it came time to killing, it was bang, 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 bang. You can't say bang, bang, Bill.
That's awesome. All right, guys, we got time for one more question for him, so let's make it a good one. Come on, I know. Okay, all right, yeah, I know you need to ask something because you've been up there. You're into this.
Oh, Lord.
One of my heroes growing up is Ross Perot. Would you ever play Ross Perot in a movie?
That's a good question.
Yeah, I'd play Ross Perot. He's an interesting character.
Green peas and white milk.
Yeah, no, Ross Perot was one of the positive affirmations. He was going to win all 50 states. If he just kept talking, it was all going to happen. Problem is, finally, Ross, people vote. And you didn't get nearly the amount of votes you said you were going to get. Anyway, but that's interesting. I'm surprised Ross Perot, I'm surprised there hasn't been a Ross Perot movie. Because he was an interesting cat.
Yep, that's right.
Wait. Ross Perot's your hero? Yeah, from Oklahoma. Oh, really? Is he from Oklahoma?
No, he's actually from Texas, but he became a millionaire from Texas without going underground.
No, I kind of know a little bit about him. I thought wasn't he from Texas?
Yeah, Texas is.
Yeah. No, he's an interesting character. God, he ran for president. Ross Perot ran for president. God, we had one of those recently, didn't we? We had a guy run for president. I'm a conservative, and it's hard for me to stand firm about what happened. But I'm still a conservative man. But anyway, enough about that.
Guys, this was Clint Howard's panel. Yeah. Thank you very much, sir. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Creepy Rodney.
Thank you. I drive by that intersection where they film that stuff all the time. There's a dojo that we go to that it's really a neighborhood close proximity to where they shot My Name is Earl, and then they also shot a TV series that I worked on called Space Ranger. For a long time, I used to drive by and say, it's a warehouse. This is where we shot Space Ranger. Going to the dojo with the kid.
Thank y'all so much.
Yes, sir. Come over here.